Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Okay, so I'm gonna let everybody kind of just pop in a little bit, and I'm gonna unbraid my hair real quick because it's driving me crazy. So my hair loosened up. Maybe I can think clearer. So as you pop in, go ahead and say hello, and let me go ahead and get the other screen open here. Other screen open so that I can make sure I got comments easy to access for you guys. Awesome. Good morning, Addison. All right, I always ask you, how's the volume? Let me know if the volume's good or not so that I can get that adjusted on the front side, please. Is the volume good? Yes or no? Yes. Wow. All right. I'm guessing that was you. Okay. Yes, the volume's good. Okay. That was a really slow moving thumb. I was like, I'm not awake. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, I'm a little bit early today. A little bit early. So, okay. So today's topic, what's your feedback loop? What's your feedback loop? Number one, first off, happy, my goodness, what is up with my camera? Hold on just a second. What's my feedback loop? It's that my camera is blurry. Hold on just a sec. Let's see if I can straighten things up. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, Spirit trying to talk to us, telling us something. It's like something just got right in here. Move. Interesting. Okay. So Spirit just needs to stay out of the way for just a second here, on at least in the camera, right? First off, happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy second day of February. And what's your feedback loop? What I'm going to be talking to you today about really is, I think it goes along with, you know, all this stuff about the, there is stuff dropping off of things. Okay. I don't even know where this came from. It just dropped off my phone. Okay. I'm going to be talking about, you know, like all the stuff with the moon and with the focus of the new year, and then you got the Chinese New Year, which is actually more in alignment to the natural New Year than other, you know, than us starting the new year on the 1st of January. Well, you actually have, you know, if you look at the seasons of life, well, January, it's still cold and the ground is cold and frozen in a lot of places, and it's not really the birthing time. And to me, and I think what New Year actually means is about the birth of a new year, about that creation process, that part where things really get started. So if you look at that, January is definitely not that starting point. It's not that, you know, got there and things are birthing. The flowers aren't popping, the trees aren't turning green. We have more cold days than warm days. You know, weather is very questionable, all that kind of stuff. We're all trying to figure out where we can go to find a place that is more alive, you could say, because the majority of the earth is very cold and still covered in sleep. So as we move into more of a birthing period, that closer to what the new year cycle is for Mother Nature, for the earth, which is really March, right? It's really March. That's what February is. It's like we're coming up, we're moving into it, we're getting closer. So what better time to talk about feedback loops and you know, what the messages really are. So what I want to kind of focus everybody in on, and it's, well, I'm going to start off with, I started, and I can't show you right now because it's on my phone, but, and I'm talking to my phone, but, good morning, Tim. But what a friend of mine sent to me this morning or last night, what I received was this, I believe he's Chinese, Japanese, anyways, he's doctor who's Asian doctor who did all the different, I am having a problem with words this morning. All these different tests on water and, looking at the cellular structure of water and taking the pictures of the water crystals. So his name's Emotu, and I'll put a link to definitely the picture that I was sent. And what they did is they took the word 2018 and they let the water rest with it. And when the water rested with 2018, what came back was a beautiful, beautiful crystal, snowflakey looking thing. And, so it's not all cracked and nasty looking. So when they do this with the energy of a word such as anger or bitterness, hatred, the water crystals actually come back, not broken and with issues and not beautiful. So all the water crystals look like snowflakes, very unique in themselves. But when they do it with the focus of love and kindness, they come back beautiful snowflake designs. And 2018 is a really cool design. It's very, very cool. There's like this thing, this hexagon, I think it is, coming out of the center, and it's really brilliant and kind of rainbow colored, and it's really, really pretty. So his message in that was that perhaps 2018 will be a year for us to really kind of reveal the true self. That just like what was happening in that water crystal was that there was like this emerging of truth coming from the center. So 2018 being the year of revealing the true self. Interestingly enough, a lot of the predictions for 2018, I mean, I pay attention, but I don't get wrapped up in that because I don't like to give my control over to predictions necessarily. I like to just kind of like, what's the energy of the year? That's what I kind of look at. And the energy of 2018, a lot of it really is, and of this cycle that we are in right now, really is about truth, being in your truth. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Just kind of like the messages of the universe that God's kind of sending through, especially through water, through, the science that's going on with water structures and everything. But that got me thinking, and what that led to was feedback loops. Well, how do you know what your truth is, right? That's a really great question, because I think all of us deal with the issue of not knowing what our truth is, okay? So if we don't know what our truth is, how are we ever going to really step down that path? And a lot of the things that we need to really be doing is to move towards that truth. Moving towards the truth, step by step by step. But how do we do that? Well, that's what feedback loops are. Feedback loops tell us exactly where we're at, what's going on, and it helps us to get into alignment to our truth. So like yesterday I was talking about, you gotta really feel into yourself. You gotta go internal, right? Go into into really tapping into you, which means that by tapping into you, you can tap into God easier. But until you can tap into you, how are you you're just basically talking air, you could say. You're not gonna be able to see the messages. Feedback loops are a little bit easier to witness than signs even, and they're really humongous big signs. So I'm gonna take a sip of coffee first. I just realized what cup I have going here. Like, what kind of message is that? I saw the Statue of Liberty come up and but feedback loops share with us these really, really important signs. So a feedback loop would be something like, let's say you drive a piece of crap car, it's falling apart, it's got lots of issues, it's always having, needs maintenance, and you're struggling to even get that little bit of maintenance taken care of. So, but inside, every time you look at your car, like, this, there's frustration, there's almost fatigue around it, where it's just like, oh my gosh, there's always this thing, this work that has to be done there, right? It's not a positive sensation that goes off in your body when you look at your car. Well, the feedback loop there is that you're not in alignment to your car. You are living this way when your spirit is trying to tell you that you need to be living another way. Maybe you live in a neighborhood that you really don't want to live in. Or here's one. Take the reverse, because I think a lot of us do this. We overextend ourselves, or we think that we want something when in truth it's not in alignment to us. So take the person who's living in the $500,000 home, and they have this big, beautiful, nice home, and it's got incredible floors and great bathtub, and the kitchen is great, and they got a great big pool in the backyard, and and the school district is really great, and all this different stuff. But it's just like it feels horrible to them. They might have this big, beautiful home, the picture of success, to what we think success is, right? But it feels, ugh. They go, yeah, so I have this nice home, but there's more stress around the home than there is positive love and peace and joy and excitement. You see what that could potentially mean? Is not, maybe they can afford the home, but they're really frustrated about the home too. Well, that probably means that you're not in alignment to your home. Okay, now I'm using a lot of real world things here: cars, homes. Okay, well, we're talking about abundance, we're talking about feel good. Your feedback loop is telling you how you feel about every single thing in your life. If you're not aligned to things in your life and they're making you frustrated, bitter, stressed, anxiety ridden, feeling overwhelmed, fatigued, like you want to detach all the time, your feedback loop is telling you very, very clearly that you are not living the life that you're supposed to be living. So here's the thing. All the feedback loop is telling you is that. It's very, very simple, right? You're not living according to what your soul wants, according to what God wants for you. Okay, so you're getting in alignment to you here so that you can actually receive and be guided by God. Okay, so to do that, you have to first of all recognize what your feedback loops are saying, and those feedback loops are telling you you might have something that you really feel great about. Maybe it's the relationship in your life, and you feel really, really awesome about this relationship, but your house you don't feel good about, your car you don't feel good about, your job you don't feel good about. Maybe there's problems with your health and you're really not feeling good. You don't know if you're going to be able to overcome those, so they're causing you stress. Or maybe you feel great about your house and your car and your job, and you really hate your relationship and it just doesn't feel in alignment, but you're scared to let that go. What are you scared to let go? Why are you holding on? What is the message of the feedback loop? Quite often, as we move closer to self, it means that we have to let go of the things that are coming back to us with negativity, that it is not in alignment. So really, really get clear on the things that are not in alignment. And then the next question is, what makes me feel good? What makes me feel good? Not what does my neighbors think? What do my parents think? What does my friends think? What's so-and-so gonna think? No, none of that. None of that. If you are ever questioning what somebody else thinks or feels or how they're going to perceive you, then you are trying to live your life for somebody else and not for you. Okay? So your feedback loop is always going to come back with negativity in it because you're living for others instead of for yourself. Okay? Now, this is not talking about being of service and being giving. It's another topic. So in that aspect, yes, we do live for others because we're helping and we're sharing, we're giving. I'm talking about standing in your truth, standing in your authentic self. When we do that, it should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, then you're not standing in your authentic self. Then you are not doing you, you could say. You are not being you. You're trying to live according to somebody else's ideas, concepts, views. Okay? Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Amy. So really examine that. I cannot tell you how important it is because ultimately you can't really move forward with anything unless you get clear on, what's in alignment to you. So those feedback loops, as difficult as the messages might be, meaning not to receive, because this should help anybody who's out there looking at like, well, what does she mean by signs? What does this mean? What does that mean? If you can't read a sign, if you feel disconnected, if you feel like you're basically blind out there, then your feedback loops is a great way to go, because how you're feeling about your house, your work, your car, relationships in your life, and quite literally what my suggestion is to journal, take a piece of paper at least, and write down, here you go, this is, here's focusing on one thing, and then start writing down how you feel about it. Then look at it and go, what would make me feel good? And then start writing down, just take away what you have and write down what feels good. So let's say, we'll just use the car, okay? Let's say you're driving a car that's constantly needing attention, okay? So it needs all these different things done to it. Maybe it's as simple as looking at that you just need to, upgrade your car, and maybe it's not go and get the Lamborghini, it's get a car that doesn't need constant care, okay? So you can still have an economical car. You can have a car that fits your payment, and maybe you're going, well, I can't afford a payment. How much money are you putting into this car that, good morning, Michael, how much money are you putting into this car on repair work, on this, on that, not to mention the stress and energy that you're putting towards it, that all that stuff that is draining to you, not in a money way, but in an energetic way. If something is draining your energy, it is draining your abundance, okay? That's what I want you to get from this. If it's draining your energy, it's draining your abundance, because you need good, lots of energy, positive energy. You need to be able to be going forward and connecting, which means if you have all these different energy things that are going out, then it is sucking you dry. It's depleting you in different ways. And it's going to be a lot harder for you to call in, to open and receive, if you want to say it that way. Either or, we're talking about receiving abundance, receiving our blessings. And it's harder to receive blessings when you're drained and you're vibrating really low. You're not going to receive as much. So the drain will make your frequency, your vibration, your energy, your connection, whatever words you want to put in here, lower than what it needs to be, so you're not going to be able to receive. So feedback loops are going to basically tell you where you're aligned, where you're aligned, where you're not aligned, and the things that you need to focus on to get clearer on your alignment. And that alignment is all about being in your authentic truth. Being in your authentic truth. So really, truly being in that authentic truth is going to get you those blessings to be called in, okay? So they're right there. Trust me, they really are. It's like, just picture whatever you see for God kind of standing above you, or being bigger than you, with a great big bag full of blessings, everything that you want. And he's just, and God's wanting to just drop it out for you on your path and basically shower you in it. But he's holding the bag closed because he knows that you can't carry the weight of your blessings, because every blessing does carry weight. And that's the thing that you have to realize, is that do you want to carry the weight of your blessings, or do you want to carry the weight of your lack of truth? It's simple, and the majority of us choose to carry a lot more of the weight of our lack of truth than opening up to the blessings. But you got to surrender yourself to your truth and get rid of your unauthentic self by paying attention to the different things that you need to pay attention to, so that you can clear that, so that you can actually go, okay, I'm ready, Lord. I'm ready. Give me my blessings. Thank you. Okay? And that's what's going on. So if your feedback loop is telling you that you're not having the life that you want, which, I mean, you're probably going, yeah, I don't have the life that I want. Well, neither do I. I don't have the life that I want. I got my goals. I got the things that I want, but there is this whole thing of trying to get in the center of receiving and allowing and opening up to that, which means be you. Be you. And what does that mean? Be you. What if you are in alignment to it, but there are parts that are stressful? So you love the house, but it is financially stressing you out. I'm taking a sip of coffee. Hold on, Addison. Okay, so here's the thing. I can tell you what you might want to hear on this, but then that was not going to do a damn bit of good for anybody or for me. And then God's going to smack me later. So I'm not going to get smacked. Here's the simple truth. If it's really stressing you out, you're not in alignment to it. I can get a lot into that, but the truth of the matter is if there's a massive amount of stress and fatigue and drain on you from something, then you're not in alignment to it. You might want to be in alignment to it, but you're not in alignment to it. Plain and simple. When you are in alignment to something, it feels good. It does not feel stressful. You are coming at it from a higher vantage point, from a higher ability to cope, to deal, and there's going to be stresses, but they're not going to be stressful. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like, you're going to stress about potentially, oh, I've got all this stuff to do. I've got to do this, I've got to do that. But it's going to feel good doing it. Okay? It's going to feel good doing it. And that means that you're going to feel led. You're going to feel very like what the next step is. What the next step is. It's a feeling of being pulled towards something instead of being pushed. The stress is the push, and the I'm on purpose, I know my truth is a pull. Does that make any sense? It's completely, it's just a different concept. So I can tell you that if you think you're in alignment, but you feel like you're still getting pushed really hard and it's a lot of stress coming in, then you're not really truly in alignment. So you know what I'm saying? It is. I mean, it just is. And I can tell you from I'm a very stubborn person. I am a person that wants to try to force my will on stuff, on my life, on what my goals are. I mean, like I am constantly questioning. I am constantly second guessing. I am an overthinker, very, very critical minded to myself. I mean, I am like super duper hard on certain things with myself, on a lot of things, like everything with myself. But I have learned that letting go and focusing in on feeling good is where the magic happens, is where the miracles come from. And when we learn it's about catching yourself in those overthinking. It's about asking and being willing to receive. And sometimes we think we're willing to receive and we're not willing to receive. And then it comes down to the question of, well, but I'm in alignment. I mean, I'm in alignment. I have a few things that I could say, I'm in alignment. Well, they're not showing up. It's not happening, there. So if it's not happening for you, then you're not in alignment, plain and simple. Your spirit, God, is telling you you're not in alignment. And that means it's going to cause this tension. What you're looking for is a sweet spot. The sweet spot, it just feels good. Maybe it hasn't shown up. Maybe it's, there is still this push, this stress there for you. But that sweet spot, there's just this knowing, there's just this peace, there's a little bit of playfulness, there's this, I'm not fond of the word hope, but there is this, what we would term as hope feeling there. So there is this like, I really believe I can have that. Okay, so if you look at that, that's what you're wanting. Get into that sweet spot. And the trick to it is paying attention to the feedback loops, and the feedback loops are these things in your life that are giving you sensation, feelings back, because your feelings are it's all about body wisdom in this, today's topic, body wisdom. I could title it body wisdom, but feedback loops is really what it is. So focusing in on that. So yeah, I'm sure that that's probably not the message that everybody wants to hear, as far as, alignment and not being in alignment, and being in alignment and thinking. And it really is, if you think you're in alignment, then you're probably not in alignment. And when you're in alignment, you just feel in alignment. See the difference there? Thinking versus feeling. And the feeling is a knowing, and that is not a thinking that I know. It is just I know. So when you hit that I know feeling, ba-bam, God opens up the bag and drops out the blessings, and life is groovy until we start trying to control in the aspect of our ego again. And this is all about, catching ego, seeing ego for what it is, which I refer to ego as Satan, right? So catching ego for what it is, and moving into spirit, moving into alignment with your core, moving into alignment with God, learning how to connect, whatever you want to term anything there. It's about our connection to the divine. So yeah. So, what do I say? I'm kind of feeling complete. I really am. I'm kind of feeling complete. Does anybody have any questions, any comments, any shares? I definitely want to, I will make sure to post the picture of the water molecule in here for you guys, because it really is pretty. And thank you to the person who shared that. Definitely a great little topic of today about finding, really letting the self emerge. And I think that's, if you look at it, any year is about being our authentic self. It's just kind of cool that the universe is definitely, that this is what the scientists actually are pulling up to. So I love scientists, because they really do tend to be on a path of supporting the spiritual realm, supporting different things, even though they try not to, which is great. But yeah, so feedback loops. Do the homework. Really do the homework that I was talking about writing down the different things, and then what feels good, what would actually feel good. How could you take something that's, and it might be that you have to get rid of something. I'm sorry, that's part of the feedback loop, is that you need to clean house. And I'm not just talking about cleaning your house. You might actually need to clean your house, because your house is causing you stress, because it's causing you chaos. I know that that's like one of my chores for the next few days, is that I've got shit everywhere, because I've been in such creation mode that I just have not taken care of my actual physical house. And what that's doing is it's reflecting, chaos inside. So now I'm feeling out of alignment, and the way I will choose to get back into alignment is to actually clear space inside my house and deal with some things that I need to deal with so that I can then get back into alignment and move forward, so that I can get that really bask in that creative mode 100% instead of coming in at like 60% because I've got all this other stuff going on. And that is that energy drain that those feedback loops are talking about. So, it's like, fine with the house, I just need to clear the clutter. Okay, here's, that if I was writing down, I would be like, here you go. This is things that I need to change about my physical house so that I feel really, really good about my physical house. Does not necessarily mean that I need to change my physical house, but there are things about my physical house that I would like to change so that I feel really good there. Maybe that relates to your work. Maybe, maybe you're stuck in a position where you're just beating your head or something. Really look at it like, I've been in this position for 3 years. I took this position because I thought that it was going to give me upward momentum. The only thing that keeps coming along is nothing that aligns to me. But then maybe a job comes up that it's a sideways move, which means that you're not going to move up, right? You're moving to the side. But this position over here has potential to offer you, 5 other things, and 4 of them are actually turn-ons to you. Well, then maybe it's time to get a little uncomfortable and make that sideways move to this position and change some things to open up doorways to other things for you. So you really have to kind of take this scope of looking at what needs to happen to get me into the best feel-good position that I can be in, okay? And change is hard. Change is hard because we don't like change. We like to, stay. But realize that the only reason change is hard is because we're operating from a place of ego, not a place of love, not a place of our heart. The heart, our spirit, is fluid. It's like the ocean. It moves easily, effortlessly, and with certainty. And you want that ease, effortless, certainty move, which means feel good, which means, really tap into that sweet spot. And some of the most difficult changes will actually come with ease and grace instead of difficultness and force and stress. If you are trying to force it, if you are stressing about it, it's not for you to do. You're not in that sweet spot. Not in the sweet spot. Okay, so I hope that helps too. If you're trying to force, if it's stressful, if it feels if it's draining to you, it's not the path to take. Stop. Don't go there. Okay, come back. Find a place find the things that feel smooth. Feel that there's ease around, and that's where you're gonna get that graceful change. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm gonna till Monday. I will catch you on the 5th around 6 o'clock in the morning for another Conscious Coffee. I do hope that everybody has a fantastic weekend. If you are in the Dallas area, we're doing a bondage class tomorrow. You'll see a couple things come out on that. We have a couple spots still open for that. But Monday, I am actually going to be announcing a new online course, which I have already kind of announced this week. You might see something come out if I get the time to do it today or not. But it's complicated, so it is really focusing in. It's the month of February. Lots of people are focused on relationship and everything, so I'm kind of putting out a course for couples, online course. So look for that, and lots of other cool stuff coming out still underneath. Lots of construction on my website, so I feel like the construction has kind of been on hold for about a week and a half because of all the back stuff that's going on and the little maintenance issues, you could say, that keeps happening. So all those maintenance issues should be fixed by this next week, and smooth rolling from there, hopefully. But yeah, so hope that everybody has a fantastic weekend. Go enjoy yourself. Find your sweet spot. Find the things that feel good. Do more of that. Put a smile on your face. Go and enjoy your day, and have a blessed Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I will catch you on Monday As always, if you have it in your heart to share this conscious coffee or any one of them, please do help me spread the word on it. Really appreciate that. And I will catch you guys Monday at 6 a.m. ish. Okay. Bye, guys.